Stocks and news. For that, let's go to Megha and Yatin. Megha, morning. You go as always.
Well, Nikunj, very good morning there, and look out for some important steel, power and cement stocks, the likes of giants like Tata Steel, Bhushan Steel, JSPL, Adani Power, Hindalco, Lanco and Monnet Ispat. Now all these companies have come under CBI scanner in relation to their dealings with the coal ministry for allocation of captive coal blocks between 2006 and 2009. CBI is expected to submit its report on the probe by mid-August there, so it is a very interesting development. Some big names have really come under the scanner at this point of time, so keep an eye on these stocks. Also look out for Reliance Industries. The company is indicating that they will start drilling new wells in the D1 and D3 fields of KG-D6 basin there, and definitely a positive for Reliance because concerns regarding companies falling output have been playing heavily on the counter. If you look at the stock there, it's testing that 50-day moving average, has been extremely flat through the year, has just given a YTD return of close to 3.7%. Also look out for Reliance Communication. Veritas has come out with started coverage on the stock and given a target of 18 rupees on the stock and a sell recommendation coming on the counter there. They have raised various concerns when it comes to Reliance Communications. They believe that the company's accounting and risk management and governance practices are suboptimal. Also, they believe that the company's they're skeptical about any meaningful enhancement coming in the company's balance sheet with the flag IPO really coming in, and various other concerns have been raised by Veritas there. Now, if you remember, DLF and Kingfisher Airlines were the other two stocks that the company had given a sell report on post, which we did see a very strong decline coming in on those two counters. So let's see how the market takes to this one today.
Okay, and Yatin, what are the stocks on your radar today?
Well, Aisha, we need to keep an eye on all the aviation stocks, the likes of SpiceJet and Jet Airways, because after the DGCA directive, most of the airline companies have agreed to slash their airfares by nearly 20%. Now, this move comes in after DGCA asked the airline companies that there was a disproportionate increase in the ticket prices versus the fuel costs and other costs, and clearly, most of the airline companies hiked the fare prices beyond what was required. And after the meeting with the DGCA officials, most of the domestic airline companies have understood to be cutting their airfares by nearly 5 to 20%. So we'll keep an eye on the entire aviation pack on the back of that news. Then we have Arvind Limited. Now remember, we reported the story first that there was a strike at the Ahmedabad plant, but now the strike has enlarged. Nearly 1,500 workers at the Raipur plant are on strike. So this takes the total tally of the workers on strike at Arvind Mills to close to 5,000 workers. Remember, most of the mill workers have been asking for a steep wage hike, which the management has not been agreeing. In fact, the management had informed the stock exchanges in an official release that the strike which is taking place is totally illegal and the necessary corrective steps will be taken by the management. But nothing of that sort has really happened. The strike has been worsening from here on. In fact, if you see the stock performance, Arvind Mills stock is down nearly 5% in the last 1 month. And most of the analysts are believing that the earnings visibility for the quarter has been deteriorating, and furthermore pressures on the stock could build up. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And last but not least, we have Gobain, wherein they have informed the stock exchanges that the delisting offer has been failed. JM Financial was the manager to the issue, and the response that the company received was only 38% of the reverse book building offer versus the SEBI regulation of 50%. So clearly, because of the lack of response from the investors, the delisting offer has failed, and in fact the stock is down almost at the 5% lower circuit since the last 6 trading sessions. So clearly the stock could remain under pressure going forward as well.
Why do you think the stock will remain under pressure, Yatin? Because if the delisting open offer has failed, ideally the company will come back with a high delisting price.
Nikunj, it's not the question of a valuation, that was a concern for Gobain, but was the minimum, tender that was to be made. Remember, 15% is the float that we have in Gobain stock, and, entire holding is retail shareholding. According to SEBI law, 50% is the kind of response you need to, receive. They received only 38% of the bid. So clearly, the response was missing from the retail side, despite valuation concerns. So every time if Gobain wants to delist, it should have a minimum response of 50%, which did not come in the reverse book building offer. So it's not the question of delisting, but the failure, and possibly the speculators are now liquidating the stock.